Hello. It is coming up on 6 p.m. Second live today. But it's different. Because I got a beer. Because it's Thursday. What else am I supposed to do? Tomorrow is going to be an easy day at work. Tomorrow is going to be a very easy day at work. Mainly because it is a professional development day, which means there are no students, just the teachers. And it gives us an opportunity to catch up on work and to develop professionally, they say. What is going on, people? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. I'm glad you could join us. Chris Del 25 and Gwerabilda. If that's your name, I'm sorry for butchering it. So, we have a special guest joining us today. She's not here right now, but when she's here, she'll introduce herself. If you have any questions, just let me know. Ask away, and I shall answer, or my beautiful partner shall answer, who will be here momentarily. For the moment, I'm going to sit here and drink beer, and you are going to watch, and you're going to be happy, and you're going to smile, okay? We're going to have a great time. This live is going to be fun. You understand me? My question for you, do you drink? Do you like alcohol? Why do you like alcohol? Why do you not? Well, there we go. Share this beer. That's what I'm talking about. I will gladly share this beer with you. In fact, I have another one right here if you want it. All right, come to Canada. I'll give you a beer. I mean, it's Thursday. It's practically Friday, which means it's nearly the weekend. Why wouldn't I have a beer? I always get a little bit excited on a Thursday. It's like, I don't know, maybe it's my favorite day of the week. Thursday could be my favorite day because I get excited, I start to get happy, because Friday's the next day, and at work, everyone's happy on a Friday, including the students. The students are always happy on a Friday. Some of them are sad because they don't get to see me for another few days, but that's all good. Hello, Pinkman752. Are you related to Jesse? To Jesse Pinkman. Jesse Pinkman, he's a cool guy. But yeah, so I started drinking a beer. I have another one there. I'm only going to limit myself because it is Thursday and I'd have to do work tomorrow. But overall, what do you like to drink? Do you prefer beer? Do you prefer whiskey? Do you prefer wine? Do you prefer liquor? What is your favorite type of beverage? In your country, what is a famous beverage? In your country, what do people drink? If you are spending time with some friends, what do you drink? Or do you drink? For example, I'm from Ireland. And quite often in Ireland, we drink Guinness when we meet our friends. We sit around a table. Beer in Brazil, yeah. Whiskey coming at you. I'm tied. I don't know which I prefer more, beer or whiskey. Now, I haven't drank whiskey in a while, because the last time I drank whiskey was January 2nd, and I can remember the date, because on January 3rd, I had like one of the worst hangovers I've had in a long time. So, I have this magic ability where I don't get hangovers, okay? Like, I might get a hangover once every 2 or 3 years. And in fact, the problem is, when I get hangovers, I get real bad hangovers. It's all or nothing, essentially. So, like, my girlfriend hates me for it. My friends hate me for it. But the fact is that I could drink and I could wake up, no problem. 9 times out of 10, I drink, I wake up, and I'm ready to rock and roll, and there's no problem. However, on January 2nd, it was like my once in a 3-year hangover, and boy, was I crippled. Anyways, enough talk about hangovers. Our special guest is here. Ladies and gentlemen, please talk like this. Didn't time that right. There we go. What's up?
Hello.
Long time no see.
I was enjoying the hangover story. Keep going, please.
Okay, so basically, I have a magic power where I don't usually get hangovers. I don't understand it. Like, I can drink like a fish sometimes, and I'll wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and I'm ready to go, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very fortunate. Now, it was 1 week before moving to Canada, and that was about 4 years ago, where I was at a wedding and drank a lot, and the next day I was hungover as fuck. And I mean, the worst thing was, I was in a car with my family, with my girlfriend in the back, and I was sitting in the front seat with a plastic bag in front of me, and I was throwing up the entire way home.
Oh my God.
But
How
you
long
must.
of a drive was that?
Oh, okay, so it's 3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
But it's 3 hours on Irish roads, and Irish roads are windy and up and down, and
Oh God.
it was a
Oh.
nightmare.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, see, it's a blessing and a curse, right? Because
Yeah.
maybe if you got hungover more often, you wouldn't drink as much. But then again, you're able to tolerate your alcohol, right?
Well, see, the thing is, I mean, I don't usually get hungover, and that's good. But when I do get hungover,
Uh-huh.
it cripples me completely.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know which is better. But I haven't drank whiskey since January 2nd because I'm afraid to go near it after my last hangover.
Oh, so it was whiskey too.
And I hardly remember the night. I'm not proud of it by any means, but I'll be honest. Like, I mean, I was sitting at home. I was with my girlfriend. I was playing the PlayStation, Red Dead Redemption. It's over Christmas. I was having a great time. And I figured that it was a good idea to go to the fridge and take the whiskey bottle over to the TV into the living room because that's too far of a walk to keep going. So, and yeah, next thing you know, I wake up next morning and I was hurling. So,
Well, you live and you learn, right?
nope, you live, but you
No.
don't.
Well, at least it was a good time, right?
It was a good time. It was. I
While it
actually did.
lasted.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun, and I mean, it was funny because my friend called me the next day at about 10 a.m. and I knew she needed help when she called me. It just had one of these feelings, you know, like, oh
Yeah.
shit. And she picked me up from the house, and I had a bucket beside me, and I was in the passenger seat, and she's driving, and I started to throw up in the car, and she's like, "Do you want me to pull over?" And I'm there with the bucket, and I'm just saying, no, don't pull over. I'm going to get sick anyways. We may as well make progress whilst I get sick. So, yeah.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have any hangover stories to share with you.
Are you like, you don't drink, or you just don't get hungover because you're a champion?
Well, if I did drink, I wouldn't get a hungover because my body is like a horse. Like when they have to put me out under anesthesia for any procedure, they're like they straight up think I'm an alcoholic because alcoholics are really hard to put under. And so I literally have to have this conversation with every single doctor anytime I have a surgery. I'm like, listen, I'm not an alcoholic, but it's going to take you a lot of anesthesia to put me under. I've woken up before in the middle of surgery. Yes, I've woken up.
That's terrifying.
Not just once, but twice.
In the same
Twice.
surgery or in two different surgeries?
No, 2 different surgeries.
Ooh.
Yeah, one of them, it was on my foot. I had I still have plantar fasciitis, but it was plantar fasciitis on my right foot. And like 2 minutes before the surgery was over, I was completely up, and I'm like, ow! I'm like, why am I feeling this? And he's like, it's done. And then he pulled away. And then
It's done? That's all he can say? It's not like, hey, why are you awake?
Yeah, no, and people are usually knocked out for like an hour after surgery and they have to wait for them to like, come back and get up and the worst part is I wake up and I remember everything. Normally people just zone out and they don't remember it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the other time it was mid-surgery that I woke up and I literally could hear the doctor's conversations and I opened my eyes and I'm like, wow, I can feel this. I'm here. Like,
You
and
can
then the
feel it.
guy, I could feel it. And then the doctor is like, she's up, put more, put more. And so the anesthesiologist freaked out all of a sudden and started to put more. And then I went back out. So I give him a forewarning now. I'm like, if you're going to put me under, you better put it to the max because I will wake up. Yeah. Same thing with like pain medication. Same thing. I can take 4 Norcos and it doesn't do anything to me. Most people get knocked out, they go to sleep, or they get all whoopy. No, doesn't do anything.
Have you ever thought about putting your body forward for trials or something and getting paid a shit ton of money because you obviously got some results going on?
Yeah, I think I just have like a really high pain tolerance, and so for some reason my body doesn't react to chemicals like it should, or it just absorbs it really fast to where I don't feel it. So if I were to drink, I'm telling you, it takes more than 5-6 drinks to get me to where probably 1 or 2 drinks for a normal person.
Wow.
So
I wonder if that would transfer to other drugs, like not just alcohol, like cannabis or cocaine or something like that.
yeah, I don't know. I should try it. It should be an experiment, and I think that they should.
You should contact your local university and find out the hippie students and see what they're up to and be like, guys, you need a guinea pig. I'm here.
Exactly. How much could a person possibly tolerate? Right here. I would hit the max.
I'll join you for it. Fuck, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah, we have to have, like a baseline, right? We have to have someone to compare against.
My God, that's insane. That's I don't know if we're ever going to be able to top that story, like waking up during surgery. Shit.
Twice. Not just one, but twice. And you know what kind of PTSD that gives you for the next surgery that you're going to go under?
That was my next question. So, if you ever need to go for surgery again, do you get, super nervous about it?
Oh, I give the doctor such a lecture before I go in that they're like, okay, we got it. I had unfortunately, I go in for a lot of surgeries, more than the average person. Like what the normal person gets put under maybe twice in their life, maybe, 3 times max. I'm 33, I've already been under probably 10 times, 11 times. I had one, what was it, maybe 2 months ago, the same surgery where the nurse drops my cell phone and proceeds to run it over with the wheelchair with me on it and crushes the screen. But luckily it's still working, but it's just kind of, glass a little bit sometimes. I have the the glass cuts to prove it, but still working how to use the screen with all the. And then I'm having another one sometime next month, so we will see. Maybe thank you. Maybe we'll see how that goes. And
I see hello, uncle. No,
is he there?
Commented.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's here. Woo! Hi, Sadushag.
So, I don't know. You've gone for how many surgeries did you say? 10 or 11 surgeries?
10, 11 surgeries probably so far, yeah. If not more.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And how do you stay positive? Obviously, because you have a lot of health complications. How do you stay positive around all that?
I have no other choice. Yeah. What am I going to be, a Debbie Downer about it?
Well, you could be.
Don't get me wrong. I will cry in my own, due time. I'll cry. I grieve it, and then I get over it. Because you can't just live your life on that. And I'm a true, firm believer in what's meant to be is meant to be. And maybe I have all these issues because my profession, as a case manager, I'm able to empathize with people a lot more than someone who's completely healthy and has never had any kind of health issues. So
yes,
right.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think for me, the greatest thing that ever happened was getting blood clots twice. So like I had a lot of blood clots in my body when I was younger.
Where?
Oh, I had one in my calf muscle, in my lungs, and my shoulders. Uh,
Whoa,
and I had them twice. So first when I was 18, and then when I was like 20 or 21 or something like that.
that's pretty serious.
It was extremely serious. It was like touch and go serious. But I think like I learned a lot from that time, and I absolutely cried when I was in the hospital by myself and all this other stuff. You learn to put on a brave face to an extent. But also, by far, the absolute greatest thing to ever happen to me was to nearly die and get sick because it shapes you. As you said, it gives you way more empathy than the average person I find. Or I even it really gives
Hmm.
you perspective. That's the key word, perspective. So
It does. It gives you a new perspective on life and the way that you live your life, and you realize how short life really
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Ostad Hushang says, "Hi Ronan, interesting. I was just listening to Fintan O'Toole talk
Mm-hmm.
about his new book, Back to Back Irish Hours. It's pretty good. Have you
I
heard of
must.
that?
I haven't heard of that, but I've heard of Fintan O'Toole. All right. Yes. I've been coming across a lot more writers recently, but it's just annoying because I'm doing my master's right now. I don't really have time to read for pleasure. You get me?
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was like, I really want to pick up a novel, and I have a stack of novels that I want to read, and I got some really good books for Christmas from some family members. But right
Hmm.
now, all my reading is just on languages. All my reading is on second language acquisition, education as a whole. So it's like, yeah, I need to make time, I think, for more me time reading or something like that.
Yeah. I don't think I've picked up a book since college. And I think Ustad Hushang is embarrassed to be related to me when it comes to that because he is such a big reader and he's basically read the whole bookstore. Like I mean you bring up a book and he could tell you the back and the front and
Yeah.
like yeah, but me as when it comes to reading, I don't know, I think I'm scared of textbooks.
Textbooks.
PTSD from college.
Yeah, I mean, they can be, but this is the beautiful thing about doing the masters. I decide what to read. I decide where it goes with my supervisor, of course, but it's like when I did my bachelor's, there was a lot of modules that were bullshit, a lot of modules I had no interest in. But
Yeah.
when you go to the next level, it's like, hey, what do you want to study? What do you really want to learn
Mm.
more about? And that's what I love
What are
about it.
you getting your master's in?
A Masters of Education, so Masters of Arts in
Mm,
Education. And
wow.
my focus is on second language acquisition, so how people second language.
Very fitting.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of reading, like from a lot of different theorists about the best
Hmm.
way to learn a language, and I've been comparing it to my own observations from my career as an English language teacher. And my thesis is going to be based around principles for developing and evaluating English language learning materials. So,
That's very good.
what makes a good language learning book? What activities
Wow.
should be there? How can you pick up a book and evaluate it? Or how can you pick up a book and change it to make it better for your group of students, for example?
Oh, that is interesting. And
I
that's
love that.
definitely something that we need.
It's funny. It's like I'm reading about all these language acquisition theories, and then I'm reading about all these people who've written books and like their principles. But there's not a huge, much needed, he says. I agree. There's not a huge overlap between the language acquisition theories and the material development principles. And
Hmm.
like I can tell you what I believe is good, what I believe works well with students and what doesn't. And then I compare it to language acquisition theories. And then the idea is to kind of develop a set of maybe 10 principles that you should follow when you're choosing an activity for your students or when you're trying to create materials for your students. So
yeah, very much needed.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a hell of a
And
lot.
I feel like Ostad Hushang is like in love with you now because you just said that, because he is totally into the same thing.
Well, I always see him posting the new English files, and that's actually what I have it up there right now, and I have been looking through it, and it's like, oh man, there's things I love about these books, and
Yeah.
then I find another book and another book, and I always want to like combine 3 or 4 different books to make it. So what I'm actually going to do, and I was chatting with my supervisor about it, he's been published as well, and so I kind of chose him because of his background in material writing, and the plan is to create material based on these principles, which we will develop, and then get students' voice about it. So to see what the students think. So create material, pilot the material, and evaluate the material. They're basically the 3 steps of how it's going to go. And see if the students felt empowered, to see if the students' anxiety was lowered by using this, and then relate that to the language acquisition theories. So
Right. That's like totally like amazing. And I think it's something that's definitely needed, and it is not focused on.
no, it's not a huge amount yet, but that's the beautiful thing about it. So
Yeah, you're going into like you found something that's needed and you're pursuing it. That's great. That's half the battle right there. And it's something that you love.
And it's funny because I will probably change my mind 3 or 4 times before the end, and that's how it goes. That's what happens in these programs. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of reading, a lot of creativity though, and that's why I chose this avenue to go down. So like, I've recently been using a program called Scratch. Have you ever heard of Scratch?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's so much fun. It is brilliant. It's basically like coding for dummies or something like that would be the way to describe it. I am not a tech person at all. Do not ask me anything about coding or tech, but this makes it easy for everybody. And one activity I'm doing is like to promote computer literacy, which is a huge skill that we need today for non-native speakers of English. And you can tell a story with all these little avatars and everything like that. And I've been making one about Irish folklore. So about like some Irish folklore stories or some old Irish stories we heard as kids growing up. And the idea, the end goal is going to be to teach students how to use Scratch and then tell a story from their culture using these avatars and cartoons. You're essentially making a cartoon, and you can record your voice, you can put music, you can have speech bubbles, everything like that. It's a hell of a lot of fun.
Wow, and it's called Scratch. I just wrote it down. So is it free or do you have to pay for it?
It's all free. That's what I love about like education. People who make programs for education and a lot of other things, they make it open source so everyone can benefit.
Right. Oh, well, that's like amazing. Well, thank you for telling all of us about it, because I will definitely be looking into that.
Well, I just made a video there like last week, and it's just really funny what you can do with it. And
why haven't you posted it? Why haven't you posted these videos?
I should do that. You're dead right. I should absolutely post it.
Yes.
The idea is like you could set a goal for your students. Like you're going to make a video, and you need to include these 5 words, and you need to include this grammar structure, and you need to tell a story for something. And it just beats the traditional multiple choice question. It just beats the traditional true false question or something like that. It taps into their creativity, it motivates them, everything like that.
And it makes their brain function in a different way because they have to bring all these other factors into it, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe what they're learning is going to actually stay in there as opposed to just kind of diffuse out.
Oh yeah, definitely. You have to make it relevant for the student. It needs to be relevant because otherwise, the same with you in college, I guess. If it wasn't relevant, you're going to zone out. You're not interested in this bullshit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how long is your master's program? And second of all, where is your tea? You had soda, you had water. Where is the tea?
I don't have soda. I have a beer. Excuse me.
Oh, excuse me. I thought it was a rock star or something at first. I got tea for you, so.
Yeah. Why am I frequently being clicked out of your live? I have no idea why you are being kicked out of our live, but I'm sorry. So my
Oh
master's
no.
is altogether, it's a 2-year program. I started in September. I'm only about a quarter of the way through. It feels like I've been doing it for an eternity.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much you can do in such a short time. But the gathering of research is going to be done in maybe October, November, and that's when I will pilot the material.
Yeah.
Interview all the students, get their views on it, get their opinions, everything like that. And then in December, I'll be physically done with my master's. So in December, it'll be a case of me with mountains of papers and mountains of recordings that I'll have to sift through with a fine comb or something like that and produce a paper. And that'll take a few months. But the beautiful thing, I don't need to physically be in Canada or in Kelowna for that process. I could literally go anywhere in the world. I'm thinking.
So you're gonna travel right to San Diego, right?
Possibly, but I feel there might be too many distractions. I was thinking of a cabin in the middle of nowhere with no people and no internet around. Not distract me.
And that is exactly where you're going to come, and a serial killer is going to come out from the woods.
Look,
and just
what are the chances of 2 serial killers being there? That's very unlikely, so I think I'm okay.
So where are you going to go? What part of the world are you going to go to this remote cabin? Out in the boonies.
Out in the freaking boonies somewhere. Well, I mean, Canada is pretty big, so there's plenty of remote cabins in Canada. However, we were also thinking about going to the homeland, about going back to Ireland for a while. And
yeah,
it's pretty isolated. You can get cut off if you want, and there's a lot of islands off the coast. And I mean, you could just go anywhere. And somewhere like that, of course, if we went back to Ireland, I don't got to pay rent, so that's I don't need to work, which could be nice for like at least a month or two.
Right. That's definitely a plus.
Yeah, so there's a lot of plans, a lot of if, buts, and maybes, but the idea is to leave Kelowna by that time, the latest. So.
Yeah, that's a fabulous idea. It'll be a getaway for you to get your mind in place and be able to zone in and.
Oh yeah, and I mean, why not? Why not like take time off to just read and to gather all this data? And like, if you've worked on something for that long, it would be a shame to cop out on the final step. You know, it'd be a shame to be too busy on the final step or something like that. So
absolutely, and I think that it'll give you the clarity that you need too.
Yeah.
To be able to focus. I would say get out of Canada. Go somewhere maybe a little bit warmer.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
The cold has been getting to us recently. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I love extreme weather. I really do. But it's just like winter gets pretty dark. And I noticed the last couple of days we've had blue skies and every single person is happier. Oh my God. Are people happy with this weather?
I can't blame them. I can't blame them. I went to Germany for like 2 days and I could not stand the gloomy weather. Like I was just like, I will never even do like a transfer at the airport here. I would not even do a layover in Germany. That's how like, I can't. It's hard.
All right, the Spanish on the road just said, how about Spain? And what is really funny about that, yeah, I was thinking about Spain. That actually was on my radar. So I used to live in Spain in the past, and I can't wait to live there again. But yeah, myself and my partner were talking about it. Spain could be a very viable and realistic option for us. So.
And while you're doing all the paperwork, she can go and like enjoy the the life, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's a cheaper place to live. The food is amazing. The people are great. And by that time, I'm really hoping that English on the road is my bread and butter. You know, that's the goal.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Why not?
Absolutely. I love that. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Exactly. Hamid is asking, have you ever been in Iran?
No, not yet.
He loves adventure, but not that much adventure quite yet.
No. I prefer to be safe. I hear it's a little dangerous these days, a little hairy, for example. Some of my students have told me some stories, but I look forward to traveling to that part of the world in the future. There's no doubt. Like, I want to see everywhere, but
Yes,
it would definitely be on my radar. So, like, where's good to go in Iran?
everywhere. I mean, there's so much history that literally, like, when I went there, I couldn't see everything.
Yeah.
So it's like I've been there how many times? 7 times, 8 times, and I literally have still not been everywhere. There's Isfahan, there's Shiraz, Tehran's obviously the capital. That's where I usually go and I stay because family's there. And
now, tell me about Tehran. Is it like any other big city? Because in my experience, when I go to capital cities, they're all the same. They all have Starbucks, they all have museums, X, Y, or Z. But isn't it like real Iran if I go there?
Oh yeah. There is no Starbucks in Iran.
Good.
But there are knockoff Starbucks that have like the logo, but it's a little bit twisted around and they name it something else. There's a Carl's Jr., but they call it like Superstar or something like that, but literally the Carl's Jr. logo. I'll say the fast food joints in Iran are not all that. The fast food joints. It's the home cooking, and it's the kebab, and it's like the little mom and pop shops.
Kebab.
The food will not be disappointing. Okay, what would I compare Tehran to? It's kind of like Los Angeles, but if you take Los Angeles and you add the hustle and bustle of China and kind of mix them together, you would get Iran.
Okay, I'm sorry, but that sounds like a nightmare for me. That sounds like way too many people.
There's a lot of people. Everywhere is always open. There's a lot of foot traffic. Lots of motorcycles.
Oh no, your sound is gone.
Am I back?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I just got a phone call, of course. Even though I turned off my ringer, why is that coming on? My ringer is off. Oh, because I have the headphones in. I guess it doesn't work when you got the headphones in. Okay. Learn something new.
No. You would love her people. I already love the people I've met from Iran. So.
But literally, if you go to Iran, you will see the best hospitality you have ever experienced in your life. They'll be like, oh my God, look at that light skin and light eyes. Come to my house. No hotel for you. You come to my house. You stay with me. You stay with my family.
I love that. And that's like Ireland. You know, where the Irish are known for the hospitality, I guess. And it's like, it's hard to beat native hospitality when you go to somewhere. So.
And in Tehran, it has forgot what the mountain's called, but I think it's one of like the tallest mountains that you can climb up and go skiing. It has like one of the world's best ski resorts.
Oh wow!
So it's known for its skiing. And the nice thing is that you could go to like some real rural areas that are just, you know, just like the countryside. And people live very old school and they still have like mud houses and villages.
Wow.
And then you come to Tehran where it's all modernized and you have mansions and you have, you know, where the embassy, the people who work at the embassy, Alborz Peak, that's what it's called, Damovan Mountain. Yeah. And if you're into skiing, we have a cousin who actually does like the trips up there. He's like a professional skier and mountain climber and all that.
Cool.
But yeah, you should definitely, once things settle down a little bit, definitely go to Iran. And it's not dangerous like everyone makes it out to be. I mean, there's always advisories of not to travel. Right now, I would kind of take those advisories a little bit more seriously,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
for the most part, it's super safe and people are super friendly and hospitable, and it's just it's a really nice place to go to.
That
And the
sounds.
shopping,
I'm not interested in shopping. Sorry, but we're not going to relate.
the bazaar, the bazaar you'll be interested in because it's not about the shopping, it's about the experience
Okay.
when you go to the bazaar, like the architecture and you know, just like the little shops and like the foods that you could taste along the way. It's all about the experience.
Yeah, I would absolutely love to visit there. I can imagine I would like to stay in Tehran for like 2 or 3 days or something because I like small towns. I like, if you haven't known, I like the mountains. I like isolation. You know, you look at my channel and that's all you see is nature, more or less. And
Yeah,
sounds
there's
like you guys
definitely
have
lots of
everything.
nature, a lot of nature,
Yeah, that
lots of nature.
sounds amazing. God, I've got itchy feet. I've got really itchy feet right now, and I think one of the reasons I have itchy feet is because this is the longest I've lived anywhere since leaving home. And
Mm,
now, because I'm doing my studies here, it's like I'm stuck in Kelowna.
yeah,
And it's not a bad place to be stuck, don't get me wrong. But I just don't like the idea that, oh, I have a schedule I must keep and I must be here on this date and have these deadlines. And oh, I just can't wait to travel.
yeah, absolutely. And if you go all the way to Iran, you might as well visit Turkey, which is right next door,
Yeah,
and visit Iraq, which is right next door. And, you know, you can't go to one country and not visit the nearby countries.
agreed. Agreed. Like, trust me, every country's on my list. And English on the road, I mean, the name English on the road, the on the road part is the most important because, like, I've been traveling, I've been a nomad for quite a while. And I've
Yep,
been trying to get to more places. And as the Spanish on the road says, there you have it, explore so. Damn right I do.
yep,
And
absolutely.
English on the road, the idea is to teach English from wherever I go, wherever I am. If it's on top of a mountain, if I'm in the big shopping center in Tehran or somewhere like that, I'll find a way to teach a lesson from there. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And you bring all of us on the road with you.
yeah.
Yep, that's the way it should be.
Oh, hell.
What's your favorite place that you visited?
Oh, and I had to ask that question. Jesus. That's a tough one. Oh, like, it depends. Like, all right, so for example, my sister came to visit last July,
Mm-hmm.
and I had an absolutely amazing time. My brother came to visit last last March or April it was, I can't remember. But we had an amazing time as well, and we went to completely different places. So I think like the amazing place you visit is one thing, but it's who you're with or what you
Absolutely.
experience when you're there.
Absolutely.
And that
Yeah.
might sound cheesy, but like in Canada, I love mountains and hot springs. And God knows there's enough mountains and enough hot springs to last a lifetime in Canada.
Yeah.
In Spain, I mean, I loved walking around Bilbao in the old town of Bilbao, where you have these like cobblestone streets, you have these old buildings that are way out of shape, and the food is pouring onto the street, and the atmosphere is unique. But then, like, I was in the Czech Republic and in Prague, and that's a whole nother beautiful kettle of fish. So it's, I don't know, it's such a hard question. I can't answer.
What sticks out? What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you're asked that question?
Oh, probably Spain. I'm not gonna lie.
Spain.
You know, it's just like when you say it, like the Picos de Europa. There's this mountain range in northern Spain I love, and I remember hiking out with my family, and I went surfing in San Sebastian, and nearly got swept out, and felt like I was in a washing machine for a few minutes. It was terrifying, and like Spain, I think for me is where my heart really is. Canada is
Yeah.
gorgeous. Canada's beautiful. I love the mountains. Everyone speaks English here, so it's a little easier for me to get by. But in the future, when I live in Spain, I will absolutely learn Spanish. There's no doubt about it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I think my favorite place that I ever visited was Fiji.
oh my God, I've never been there.
You should definitely go there. Osad Hushang is saying, I remember the days of the week by the number of book I teach.
Oh my God.
Like, I know it's Thursday and I teach American English violin. See, that's the point where you know that it's overtaken your life because you're like, what day is it? It's
It's
book five
American
day today.
English File 5. That's what that is today.
I think that you should definitely visit Fiji. My only regret about visiting Fiji is I didn't go to the neighboring countries. But then again, I was really young. I think I was only like 18, 19 maybe, and I didn't really grasp where I was going or why. And it was like a totally random trip that was not even like, it was out of the blue. My friend Joe, he's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I want to go to Fiji, and I heard that they have like really good property to buy there and whatever, you want to go? And I'm like, sure. So I tell my mom, and my mom's like, yeah, sure you're going to go. As long as I go with you, you're not going to a different country with a random guy, because we'd only been friends for like only 4 or 5 years at that point. But so she tags along, and all three of us go to Fiji. But it was seriously an amazing experience. And I'm not one to stay at resorts or like go to where all the tourists go. We literally went and we stayed at Hot Springs Hotel, which was right in the middle of the village where the people lived. So we got to experience like the real life and the real people, and not just walking around in a resort and seeing all the other Americans that are just tanning and sitting on the beach, you know? So.
Yeah, I mean, when you go on holidays, I think it's very important to immerse yourself in the local traditions, the local cultures. And if that means like staying in a hotel it can be good because you get all your mod cons, and sometimes you just want your isolation when you travel. But I love hostels. I'm all about hostels, you know?
Oh, hostels. Wow.
Like, some crazy stories from some hostels. I've stayed in some dingy, scary hostels. I've stayed in some like hostels you might confuse for the Ritz or something. It's been here, I'll tell you a crazy. I don't know why I'm going to tell you this story, but I was in a hostel in Berlin, and I was staying in one of the dorm rooms, and it was a dorm room with 24 people.
Okay.
24 people staying in one room, which is pretty freaking crazy, as you can imagine.
How big was this room?
Well, it's definitely big enough. So there's all these bunk beds, and the bunk beds are actually 3 bunks. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, the whole way down, and then across at the end, and in the middle there's a big open area. But generally speaking, in hostels, the bedroom is literally only for sleep. No one hangs out there because everybody's on different body clocks and different schedules. But I mean, it was the day before I was leaving, and I had a bus to catch at like 5 a.m. or something. And I wake up, and I'm hearing this weird noise. And you're always wondering, like, I don't know who else is in this room, you know, there could be some crazy shit going on. There was, like, I just opened my eyes and I looked over across the room, and on the top bunk, there was 2 people full on going at it in front of, like, in the middle of the hostel. And it was just like, I had to like rub my eyes and be like, are they actually doing it right here in the hostel? And yes, they were. And so much so that like I felt real sorry for the people who were sharing the bunk.
Right below, yeah.
People beside them or anything like that. And what I love the most is that like, so here's the 2 beds, and they're on this bed, and the guy here kind of like gets his pillow and slaps them with the pillow. The guy who's having sex reaches out for a high five.
Oh my God.
Like, these people were shit-faced. They were so effing drunk beyond belief. And obviously they weren't thinking straight because, I mean, there's private bathrooms. Just go there. But don't go into a room with 23 other people, for example.
Yeah. That would be kind of... I'm surprised nobody pulled out a camera and videotaped the whole thing and then read it on the internet.
Yeah, you know, maybe it was before, like, smartphones were so popular or cameras were so... do it today, because the cameras today are freaking amazing. But, like, and I can just remember one guy in a thick, like, Norwegian accent or something, and he just shouts out, please fucking stop fucking in the fucking bathroom.
Did they actually stop, or they just kept going?
They stopped. Like, oh, the noise quieted down. fell asleep again. Anyways, I wake up at like 5 a.m. or like 4:30 to catch my bus. And as I'm walking out, I just take a look over, and the two of them are lying on the bed, absolutely naked, with no blankets or anything. The sun is rising, and what you have to understand, in a hostel, people are usually waking up very early because they're on vacation. They want to see the land or whatever. But
Yeah.
I can only imagine the anxiety those two people must have had when they woke up and realized, shit, I'm on the bed naked, and there's 20 other people looking at me right now.
Oh my God. Where was this guy from? Do you know?
I don't know where the lovers were from, but I just remember like the thick accent sounds of the fucking, and who knows where they were from, but that's one hostel story I'll never forget.
I wonder if they came there together or he met her there and was just like, yeah, let's go back to my place. I have some roommates, like, you know?
Oh, that's the crazy thing about it. It's like, how drunk do you have to be to think that's a good idea? Like, where do you start thinking the lover? Maybe they're just got obsessed with their love or whatever, but there's millions of other places you could have gone. Why did you choose a room with 20 or something other people?
Well, maybe that's what they get off on. That's possibly what they like. And
but in
it's
Berlin,
just 4 different hostels, and they
for that, you know.
Wow. Yeah. See, when you started this story, I thought it was going to lead to something like bed bugs or something like that, but no, this went in a whole different direction. Have you ever had any experiences with bed bugs at these hostels? Because that's one reason why I will never stay at a hostel.
Whoa, no, you must stay at a hostel. You must. Hostels are amazing.
So my friend, when he moved to America, he actually worked at a hostel, and I didn't even know what a hostel was until he started working there. And I went there, and it's like cool. It's like, you know, you get a vibe, and like everyone becomes friends. They hang out, they go places together, whatever. But the whole thing is the bed bugs. People bring bed bugs in there. You never know. Like, bed bugs scare the crap out of me.
Where was this hostel?
In San Diego.
Okay, so here's the thing. Hostels in North America are very different to hostels in Europe. Very different.
Oh, okay.
Hostels in Europe are like, some of them can be family-run hostels. They're absolutely amazing. Like, I stayed at one hostel in Sevilla in Spain. Back to Spain. My heart belongs there, I guess. And I just remember it was during one of the World Cups, and the owner's mother comes along, and she has homemade paella, she has homemade sangria, and they just offered it to everybody.
Wow.
And then, like, every night they take the people on a guided tour of the town. They go on a pub crawl, and like the communities in European hostels is like through the roof. So I guess America's quite different. It's a lot bigger. There's a lot more transient people coming through, I guess. But someone said, I worked at IKEA here in America. Bed bugs in IKEA? Oh my God.
Yeah, see, I used to work with the chronically mentally ill homeless, and that's why bed bugs are a big scare for me, because a lot of them had bed bugs. And, bro, once you get bed bugs, there is no going back. You get rid of everything.
I heard about Toronto. In Toronto, that's a big problem, actually. So
Really?
Yeah, and like, it's a city of, well, like 5 million people, and yeah, bed bugs are legit a problem. And I never heard of bed bug. I heard of bed bugs, but I always thought they were like imaginary Disney characters or something. And then I moved to Canada, and it's like, no, this shit's real.
Yeah, it's real. Like, I get paranoid, like, because of the experiences that I saw people having, like transitioning from homelessness to homes, and then they would bring their like transient friends over, and it has nothing to do with cleanliness. I can't even say the word. Being clean. It has nothing to do with that. It's just literally, if one bug climbs on top of you, if you're sitting at like a bus stop or a train station or whatever, any public area, and you bring that bug home and it goes into your bed or it goes into anywhere where you sleep or spend a lot of time breathing, because that's what brings them towards you is your air, your breathing. Then they get everywhere, and then there's no getting rid of them, and they're just there forever. So your luggage, anytime you travel, Ronan, Don't bring the luggage into the home. Empty everything out of the luggage, wash it with hot clothes, and leave your suitcase outside, because you never know. When people are traveling and they put all the suitcases on top of each other, the easiest place for bed bugs to come.
Wow.
So everyone, take that word of advice. Yeah, I've seen people's lives get ruined over bed bugs, and it's no joke.
Yeah. I can't get over, though, like, what a big problem they are in North America. Because, like, growing up, I never heard my parents would joke, oh, the bed bugs are going to get you. That was growing up, you know?
Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
But legit, don't let them bite, because that shit's serious. So.
Yeah. And you have to throw away all of your electronics, because if they get in your TV or any electronics, there's no way of getting them out. You just straight up throw them away. That is why you never pick up a mattress on the road, a couch on the road, a TV on the road, because 99% of the time they're out there for a reason, because they got bed bugs on them. Yes.
God damn, that's crazy.
And even when you go into thrift shops, you got to be really careful what you touch and what you get, because a lot of times they'll donate it because it has bed bugs on there.
I love thrift shopping.
Yeah, just be careful. Bring the things and hot wash them. And if they're clothes, wash them in hot water. If they're, utensils, you're pretty much okay. You just wash them. But electronics, don't bring the electronics home.
Wow, because that's so interesting. I can see your fear for staying in a hostel, definitely, with growing up with that experience. But has the hostel culture. Like my parents, they're in their 60s and they have no problem staying in hostels in Europe. So it's like...
But it sounds like it's a lot cleaner there. It's a lot safer there. Like it's not like a common thing as like it is here. New York, I hear, has a huge bed bug problem. Huge. So I'm like, I am never going to New York. I don't want to see that ball drop. I don't need to see that. I'll watch it on TV.
New York is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun for like 2 or 3 days, but that's all I can handle of that city.
You've been there? You've been in New York?
I've been there a few times, and I've loved it. It's crazy. I've had some wild nights there, let me tell you, but it's expensive. It's also very expensive. So, I mean, if you go there, just be careful like where you go to eat or drink, because like you might order a beer and then you get the bill and you're kind of thinking, what the fuck, did this beer cure cancer or something? So
no, it's made out of gold. It has gold in there. It has gold specs, right? No, it is expensive. You know what's funny? I've traveled the world, but I have not traveled America. Isn't that sad? I've never been to Yosemite, never been to the Grand Canyon. I have been to Vegas, but that doesn't count because I'm pretty sure everyone goes to Vegas.
Oh, Vegas is great.
The landmarks, like the major places that you go in America, I have not gone to.
I think that's true for a lot of people in their home countries. Like, I have probably seen more of Canada than a lot of Canadians I know.
Yeah.
And like, okay, I'm fortunate with my family. My parents always had a rule that they would never take us abroad until we'd seen our whole country. Now, Ireland is a very small country, so it sounds amazing, but it's not that hard to do. So for the longest time, we had so many camping holidays, or just holidays from the car, for example. And then the beautiful thing about Europe is it's so cheap and easy to make your way around Europe, you know?
Really?
Oh my God. So moving to North America has been a crazy experience to see how expensive it is to go from A to B. Oh. But you compare that to when I was in college in Dublin, one weekend I went to Stockholm by myself when I was like 19, and it was 24 euros return, which is only about like 35 American dollars return flight.
A flight?
For a 3-hour flight.
That is insane. A flight from San Diego to Las Vegas, which is 1 hour, costs you about $100 each way. Yeah, and like this is Europe. That's standard. Quite often, like there's a huge competition between the airlines. So one thing they'll do is they'll have these free flights where all you pay is taxes. That's all you need to pay is the tax. That's really sad. That's really sad for us here. Yeah, you're right, though. It does take a lot of money to travel here, even to drive, even the gas money.
Well,
Like,
the gas is cheaper over here, definitely.
yeah, no, the gas, it almost costs more to drive to Vegas if you're one person than to just fly there.
Right. Wow.
Unless you have like a car full of people, then it's worth it.
Oh
But
yeah, make a
and then
road
it's
trip
like
out of
what, 5 hour drive or something like that.
it. It's crazy.
Yeah, so yeah, I definitely need to get on it though and travel to somewhere in America so that I can. My cousins in Iran, they don't get it. They're like, "You've been there since you were 5 years old and you haven't been to the Grand Canyon." My cousin came once to America and went and saw the Grand Canyon. They went and saw Yosemite. They went to like, Washington and saw the White House. And I'm like, yeah, no, never been to any of them.
I have probably seen more of America than you have.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. You probably have. I don't doubt it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it is just like I said, it's typical though. Like where you live, like a lot of my friends have never seen all of Ireland. They've never traveled to other parts of Ireland and stuff like that, just purely because it's like you generally don't explore where you live, and you're always like
Absolutely.
you always have a desire to travel to a further part of the world, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. My friend Dave, well, my best friend Roshan, her, come on, Asana, get your English right. Her husband Dave, he's from Ireland. So first thing when she marries him, I'm like, hey Dave, take me to Ireland with you, yeah? He's like, Roshan, who is this again? You know? Yeah, that's the first thing is you always want to go. You want to leave the country. You want to go somewhere
Yeah.
else. But I should really focus in but you're right, because you get so involved with work and just like your day-to-day life that when you do have some time off, you're like, well, why go here? Like, why not travel
Yeah.
somewhere far and
Yeah, and if you save up the
exotic?
money, you're kind of thinking, fuck it, I just want to get on an airplane. I want the airport feeling. I want the feeling of literally moving to another part of the world.
Exactly. Except not right now because of the coronavirus, but
How you- what's going to happen? I don't know. If you get it, you get it. If you die, you die. I mean, what can we do? You still got to enjoy your life.
they brought all the people from Wuhan that were U.S. citizens. They brought them down to San Diego, right in our backyard, 10 minutes away, 10-minute drive. And so they're all quarantined there. Today they got discharged, and 3 of them are in the hospital
Oh,
because they
Jesus.
tested positive. Yep.
Yeah. It's
But
coming
not to
for you.
mention, it is coming for me.
Thank you. Watch out.
Hey, do you know where Chad is? Chad?
The country, yeah, sorry. I was like, who's Chad?
Chad's in Africa.
Mhm.
Wait, am I on Saudi Arabia now? Where
Yep.
am I?
You're right there.
Yeah. Is that it? I can't see. Yeah, so Joe comes over the other day and he's like, you know where Chad is? And I'm like, who's Chad? He's like, Chad's in Africa. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And he's like, oh, right there, Chad. Chad's in Africa.
Right.
And I still don't have it on the screen. There it is.
There we go.
There it is. Yeah. So, pull out some cards. You want to ask some questions to each other?
Well, we actually only have 2 minutes left.
It went by that fast?
I know, this has been like one of the fastest lives I've ever done in my life.
Wow. Oh my God, it literally feels like 15 minutes. I don't have the time on my end, which I normally do, and I can't, I don't know.
1 second, so you got 90 seconds left.
Oh, 90 seconds left. My God.
All right, so this was a hell of a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it because it is 100% natural, and we're just talking random stories about hostels, people having sex in hostels, bed bugs, everything like that. It's been a blast. We need to do this more often.
Yes, definitely. If I can remember, because remember, I don't even know what day it is and what year it is.
In 3010 has mentioned Brazil like 3 or 4 times, and we passed over it. I do plan on visiting Brazil. There's no doubt about it.
And he's going to come stay with you.
Absolutely. Watch out. But all right, we have 45 seconds left. I'm going to give you the floor. What do you want to say?
Well, I just want to thank you. Thank you for including me in your life. It's always fun to talk to you. And thank you for always sending videos instead of writing text, because I like the videos. Yeah. And I like how I actually went in your calendar, and I can't believe you use the actual calendar. You write things in a calendar. That's amazing. That is a master's level. See? Yeah, it's
Seconds left. Thank you very much. I'll hit you up right after, and we'll set something up very soon. 5 seconds left. Mwah. Thank you.